So, dirty elephant.
Dirty elephant.
Wait, secret
Elephant?
Secret elephant?
No, dirty Santa.
Dirty Santa.
White elephant.
Okay, yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah.
Hate them. And here's the math. And
Here's the humbug again.
Maybe this will be the intro for a Christmas episode.
Who knows?
But I'll tell you, there's a certain obligation to participate in these exchanges, and you sit around a circle and everybody opens a gift, and what is it? Socks, those comfy socks. Oh, look, it's a candle. It's some kitschy wood thing that you could hang up in your house for the month of Christmas. It's always stuff that nobody wants, the crap that goes on sale at Michael's or at Kohl's. And inevitably, I will show up. I try to bring the gift amount, right? If it's a $20 limit, I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend $20, maybe a little more with tax, and you buy the gift bag, so you're at $24, $25, and then you leave, and it's like, okay, I got a $10 Amazon gift card. Why didn't I just set $10 on fire and be more entertained by the notion that I did that than the inequity of the gift exchange? Who's showing up to these things with this garage sale clearance rack bullcrap?
You're absolutely right. When's the last time you participated in one of these? Is this an annual thing for you or no?
Last week.
Oh, last week so you do them regularly.
And so this last week I did it with the leadership at my church. My wife's on staff at the church, and so I'm the plus one. Some people have made the joke that I'm the minister's wife. Okay, whatever, that's fine. Just because I'm high maintenance. But so I last year, not this past occasion, but literally a year ago on the calendar, I showed up with a Bob Ross Chia Pet, and it was awesome. Yeah. And guess what I got this year?
A Bob Ross Chia Pet?
Yes.
Is it a re-gift?
I got a re-gift of the thing that I brought. So, I guess it's evened out.
Someone took that gift and put it with their Christmas decorations. Like, I'll just pull that back up next year.
Yep. So,
I do. We haven't actually talked about Summit on the podcast yet, but one of these days we'll do an episode just describing it. But this event I have at my house usually once a month with friends, and it's. We started a gift exchange with it. We haven't done it every year, but we have over the years. And it gets, kind of a competition where people are trying to outdo everyone.
Competition in the sense that people are trying to bring a better gift?
Yeah.
That's great, yes.
So, and that same sentiment has been, and probably even more so, with the Wagner family, my wife's family gift exchange, which this year is going to include Lauren, who works at the center with us right now, and her sister Alyssa. They're both going to participate, and they hadn't participated in the past because we wanted to be able to get a wine or a beer or whatever. And this year we're just like, well, let's just
get the wine and give it to a minor. Yeah.
Well, Lauren's 21 now.
Oh, there you
go. So we've added, and then we added my kids. So like now we're gonna think of gifts that would be applicable to, Vincent's 13, so 13 and up, and still that's doable, right? But it's competitive, and certainly years before, it's always been competitive. Like we always want to be the one to bring a gift. We participate separately. I get a gift that Kristen doesn't know about usually, and I always want to be the one to let's see if we can get this one to go around 3 times and then it's dead or whatever. And it's been a competition, so it's always been fun. I think the problem, my soapbox, is you used to be able to do these for $10, $15, $20. That's getting tough now.
Yeah, got that that COVID/Joe Biden inflation.
Right. I mean, you've really got to bump up the threshold if you want to get something reasonable. Now, of course, you could shop smarter and on sale and whatever, but
use a coupon. Go to Goodwill.
But yeah,
I think you've touched on something that maybe wouldn't be an irritation if everybody shared that spirit. Yeah. Give something that you wish you could get.
Last year, I brought something and I ended up taking it. Like I ended up winning it because
last year I ended up bringing something that I ended up getting this year. So there you go.
I will say this. So my tip to anyone that does these or has to do these and it struggles to come up with an idea. We've done two things in the past that have been pretty big hits. One is you got a $20 limit. go to Critchfield's, get you $20 worth of steak. All right?
Nice.
Yeah. Now, great, your vegetarian friends, maybe not a big fan, but yeah, that to me, that one is, I mean,
you would have bought it for yourself anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of a treat yourself kind of moment.
Yeah. And then the other one, and this is great for the person that's only spent $10 on a gift card, you could round up with throwing some scratch offs.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And that one's, entertainment really, because
they're not going to win.
They're not going to win, but
you know about odds and statistics.
Yeah. But those are two good, the steak one's tricky. You either have to keep it in the freezer.
Nah.
Or, well, I mean,
give the gift of food poisoning this Christmas.
The gift that keeps on giving.
You are listening to The Soapbox. I'm Paul.
And I'm Eric.
This all started out with a list. What's that all about?
So I've compiled a list over the years of things that just bother me, things that grind my gears. And I shared that list with you.
And I thought, you know what? That would make interesting conversation. Sometimes I'm going to want to agree with you, and it's just going to be something we talk about. Other times, though, I'm going to want to steel man the opposite position because I think that's just interesting conversation.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm always right, but Paul's just a really good debater.
Hey. All right. This is our holiday special. Are we going to call it the holiday special?
We need to, yeah.
Special Kwanzaa edition.
Yeah. Last one of the year, maybe? I don't know.
So I think it's only fitting that we touch one of the soapboxes that is nearest and dearest to my heart. Mm-hmm. It's Christmas. I hate it. Yeah. I hate Christmas season.
Humbug.
Bah humbug. I don't like it. I haven't liked it for a very long time. And this is a huge contradiction. Because I'm the Christian in the room, and this is supposed to be like my people's special holiday.
Yep.
Right? And I hate it. You, on the other hand.
Yep. Atheist and favorite time of the year. Love it. I mean, I love summer and whatever, but no, it brings me joy hearing Christmas music, seeing the lights, the tree set up.
You like the music, really?
I mean, just hearing the music kind of gets me in kind of
the Christmas mood. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
is it more nostalgia based, or is it like genuinely like you're turning on the radio station that plays it every year?
No, it's well, one exception. My family and I have become a little too fond of Bad Religion's Christmas album, which
I don't think that counts.
It's hilarious. I mean, they're punk rock versions of Joy to the World, like all these.
In fairness, I haven't heard it.
Yeah,
maybe you should send a link on Spotify, and I'll give it a spin.
It's. I mean, they have one song in particular that was on one of their albums called "American Jesus," which was just kind of a, it's not a Christmas song, but kind of fits with the
motif.
The motif, and then all the other songs are straight up Christmas covers, and I mean the kids, at least they humor me. And we try to play it every year. But I will say, too, Jim Brickman, I think he played at Rupp recently. Or maybe it was canceled during COVID. Or anyway.
I'm not aware of a local show. My mom loved Jim Brickman growing up.
And I think our friend Brad Reister really liked Jim Brickman. I don't know how I ended up this album, but I have this album, and I think it's a Christmas album. And there's... shoot, I can't think of the name. There's one song that I play it's piano song, and it's just beautiful, and it's Christmassy. And if I think of the name, I'll punch it in post.
There you go. but really crude voiceover.
Yeah.
Okay.
So other than that, those two are kind of just, hey Alexa, play. Sorry, people who we've triggered your Alexas.
Hey robot. Rabbit trail.
Yeah.
But we have a sort of an unspoken policy in the house that the only time you invoke the name of the robot is when you're talking to the robot. Right, otherwise, you have to call it the robot.
Right. Now, we use what's her name.
There you go.
We go, hey, would you tell what's her name to turn off that light? So common.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you love Christmas. It's family oriented for you. It's tradition. It's nostalgia. And
I think, and we'll get to unpack your hatred here in a moment. But maybe we start with my love. I think it came from my mom. It was, the J.C. Penney's catalog that we'd go through and we'd circle the things we want. Of course, I'm picking the Ewok Village and the Star Wars, all the getting toys, getting things. My mom loves to buy things for people. So our Christmases, and we weren't super well off. We did okay. We were probably just kind of average, but Mom just splurged on Christmas. So for us, it was, the tree was, I heard of a lot of my friends growing up that they get one present each. Oh no, we got 7, 8, 9, 10 each.
Yeah. I do have some fond memories of Christmas firsts. I probably have a picture of myself unwrapping a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo game as a kid, and those were good times for sure. And early Christmas for me always, from the time I can remember anyway, being in America, like in Canada, I don't have too many memories. I left when I was 6.
They don't celebrate Christmas in Canada, do they?
Maybe that's why I don't remember it. Those people. But as far back as my now addled and aging brain will allow me to remember, Christmas was Western Kentucky, going down to the farm, spending time with Mama and Papa, and that was good. Those were good times, but along the way, things got ruined for me a little bit. Part of it was we weren't super well-to-do for many years in my formative years, and I think I felt some guilt in knowing that my parents were stretching themselves beyond their means to be able to pay for Christmas presents. And so the joy of receiving something is sort of muddied. The water gets muddied a little bit when you are worried if your parents can afford to pay for it or not.
Yeah.
That sucks. And then I think there was sort of 2 traumatic events that I associate with Christmas. One's not so much in a specific event as it is just a seasonal thing. But my grandfather, Papa, we were going to go see him for Christmas, as we often did. And this particular Christmas was a sadder Christmas because my grandmother, Memo, she had passed away in January of that same year. And we went to see Papa, but even with gifts wrapped for the exchange and everything fully ready to go, December 24th, he ended up in the hospital. He had a twisted bowel from a previous surgery where he had swallowed a toothpick, and they had to remove a section of his bowel because the toothpick became lodged in his bowel.
Oh, wow.
And that was years before. He was a cardiac patient, quadruple bypass surgery survivor. We thought for sure his heart would be what killed him. And then Christmas Eve had surgery. Or maybe it was Christmas Day, but we were in the hospital over Christmas Day, didn't celebrate Christmas as we normally do, and then December 26th he passed away. And so he was sort of, for me, like the patriarchal figure of the family, and that Christmas was lame. It was super lame. I lost somebody that was very, very special to me. Then around the same time, because I think this was around 2006, 7 years, I can't remember anything. But I was working a lot of retail jobs. So I worked Best Buy, I worked Apple Store. And people are just horrible. People are horrible to retail workers during Christmas. And Best Buy in particular, the Best Buy in Lexington, there's only one entrance off of the main road. To get in there, you have to fight traffic at a light that's not very well timed for that portion of the year. So they instruct you, look, you're going to have to get here really early, maybe an hour before your shift. You're not going to be able to leave for lunchtime, so we're going to put a sandwich tray in the break room. And if your break's not first, then good luck. You're going to get everybody else's warm leftovers that flies have been crawling on. And then you're probably going to have to work long, extended hours, all while people are insanely mad that you don't have the doorbuster deal that they offered for Black Friday. Which, let me go down a rabbit trail for a moment.
Yeah.
Doorbusters are stupid.
Yeah.
Doorbusters are basically products they couldn't sell throughout the year, and they make a certain number of them. So I don't know if you know this about just basic consumer electronics, the iPhone excluded, flagship products excluded, but basic consumer electronics, a manufacturer will make maybe 30 or 40, and they'll bring them around to different retailers, and the retailers will pick up 1 or 2 for their store shelves, maybe a good, better, best sort of lineup, and then the rest of them don't get made in mass. So in this era, everybody take a shot.
Yep.
There's a siren.
Yep.
So in this era, it was camcorders, right? This is pre-iPhone days. JVC had manufactured a camcorder that we picked up, but they had one they didn't. So they had a bunch of these prototype units, maybe 8 per store, and they just wanted to let them go at cost just to get rid of them. And that was the doorbuster. That's what gets everybody in the door.
Yeah.
You can't find that any other time of the year.
Yeah.
You're not going to get parts for it. So if you do need to make a return exchange or anything like that, good luck. But people would they would hurt other human beings to get the $100 camcorder that was normally $269, right?
Yeah.
So folks would line up. They would camp in front of the store. I witnessed people urinating on the wall because they didn't want to lose their place in line.
Yep.
They'd get there, and if they were 50th in line, they'd wonder why they didn't get one of the 8 units that we had on hand, and then they'd cuss you out and act like a fool.
I stood in line for a projector. It was a DVD player projector combo. It was probably right around the same time. We bought it.
Were you peeing on the wall?
Was
that you?
Peeing on the wall. Come on. I mean, it's punk rock, man. But I think maybe AD waited in line with me. CompUSA? No, it wasn't CompUSA. It was Circuit City. Circuit City, I remember I was in line outside of the building, and we wanted this, I think it was like $500 projector. We wanted it for the band, and we used it to project a really cool GeForce, what were those things called that Winamp had the visuals?
Yeah, the visualizations.
Yeah. It would react to the music. So we worked up this whole thing where we hooked up.
Was this with Orange Whip?
No, this is Arizona Bay.
Arizona Bay, okay.
The Tool tribute band. And we had, and Horse had all of this stuff set up to where, oh man, this is a rabbit trail, isn't it? We may cut all this. Anyway, point being, we had a projector that shot these visuals on the back of the stage, and it reacted to our music.
That is awesome.
And you couldn't really do that for,
less than probably around $2,000.
Yeah.
Right? The $500 projector is still a great price.
Yeah.
But when they first came out, that was a hard grab. So I worked a lot of long hours, and this was in the time I was in college. So I was taking a full course load, 12 to 16 credit hours, not doing especially well my freshman year, being abused by the general public. And I between that and then the traumatic stuff of the past and the traumatic events that I endured, I developed a distaste for Christmas because under the banner of Christmas, people were horrible. And then you think about the fact that Christmas is not just like a day, it's a season.
Yeah.
And that season really begins in November now. So from November, usually through a couple weeks into January. So functionally, we're talking about November, December, probably 10 weeks, maybe 10 to 12 weeks. You also get Muzak. Do you know Muzak?
Oh, yeah.
So for those listening that may be a little bit younger or just not initiated with the ways of the Muzak and retail world, you would have a company that got the license for public play of just a very small handful of songs. And once a month, a Muzak rep would show up with a CD, change the CD out in the CD player that you weren't supposed to touch as a retail employee, and then you got to listen to your 8 to 12 songs on repeat all day long, every day that you worked. And the Muzak songs were particularly offensive because now we've got Christmas music that is devoid of any meaning of actual Christmas. Can't sing about Jesus. Not when you're selling $100 camcorders. It's got to be Mariah Carey. It's got to be all of the really kitschy Dean Martin crooner Christmas crap.
Yeah.
And when you have to listen to that on repeat while people are being mean, while things are horrible, that's not good. And then I'm going to throw one more point in, and this is actually one of my main points. I've been saving this. But this all happens during the absolute worst weather portion of the year in terms of the amount of available sunlight.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm making popping noises. I'm adjusting my mic there. But we're getting to the darkest point of the year. And I've mentioned this to you before. I think talking about mental health is way less stigmatized than it was a generation ago. But I am a huge sufferer of seasonal affective disorder. I get real blue during this time of the year. I have a hard time focusing. I have a hard time being motivated. I often will just go to bed early. I'm not particularly joyful during this part of the year. And then I have people look at me and smile and say, it's the most wonderful time of the... It's not.
Yeah.
The air hurts my face. I'm depressed. It's gray during the daylight hours, and then it's dark at 5.
Yep.
And it's going to be this way, I believe, until the 21st or the 22nd. Is it Saturday? Saturday the 22nd is the equinox?
Sounds right, yeah.
Not equinox, sorry. It's not an equinox. What is it?
We did this. We did this a few months ago where we played this game.
Yeah. Anyway, the darkest part of the year, the shortest day of the year. And for me, that's the holiday. Because every day after that... Solstice. Thank you. Every day after the winter solstice...
So that guy typing in the comments right now, just hit backspace, delete it. We figured it out.
Didn't even Google it. But yeah, every day after that's about a minute longer until the next solstice. And
then it goes to the equinox.
Okay.
Right? The solstice and then the equinox.
You think I would know these things? I don't.
Hey, Neil deGrasse Tyson messed up perihelion and aphelion on his Star Talk radio.
Whatever.
I mean,
I was talking about that in kindergarten.
Right.
Parrot helium and what was the other one?
Perihelion and aphelion. One, the sun is as close as the Earth it'll be all year. The other one, the sun is as far away from the Earth as it'll be all year. And
so I'm ignorant on this. Let's go down that rabbit trail for just a moment. What are those things?
It's a Christmas thing, I think, because it's like January 4th, 5th. I think it fluctuates.
The sun is the furthest from the Earth. So
that's
January.
That's where Neil made his faux pas.
Because it's cold.
That's because it was cold, but
he didn't talk to Australia.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that distance is negligible. It's more about the angle of the sun
and the amount of exposure.
Yeah. So the early January is perihelion, and the Earth is as close as it will ever be to the sun for the year. And then just 6 months later, it's aphelion. And so, funny enough, we celebrate perihelion. My dad started it when we were kids, and I've done it a little bit with my family, but it was a big, goofy holiday for us. So it's after Christmas, right?
We had Boxing Day, I guess it's
something
similar. You need a holiday after the holiday.
Yeah, and for
like
us...
Exhibit, yo, dog, I heard you like holidays, so I'll put a holiday in your holiday.
So we'd eat sun chips. If you had any leftover candy corn, that was anything yellow. So
that is hardcore punography, right there.
It was. And the other thing, all credit to my dad for this one. Christmas is the only holiday where it's Merry Christmas. All the other ones happy.
Except in England.
Oh, well, don't ruin this for me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, okay. You say your thing in a second. But we decided that perihelion, it needed to be Mary Perry.
Oh, that's good.
So we
yeah. Now, do you ever watch Great British Baking Show?
No. I watched a fair bit of British shows, though.
So they do if you want a taste of it without committing to the full season, they do a Christmas episode that's the whole format of the show in one episode.
Okay.
And it's baking, it's British humor, it's references to pop culture we didn't participate in and don't often get.
Okay.
It's words for things that we don't use. It's a biscuit.
It's a biscuit.
Cracker? It's a cookie.
A cookie?
I don't know. But yeah, they always say Happy Christmas.
Oh, okay. So they go the other way.
They do.
So still, Mary Perihelion.
I like it.
Yeah.
I also invented a holiday, and if I was smarter when I did, I would have timed it with the thing people actually celebrate. So you've probably celebrated Pi Day.
Yeah.
I, in undergrad, was friends with a professor, Nathan Stevens, and I would often go to his office and hang out because he was just a cool guy. And I wanted to be like him when I grew up, and kind of am now because I work at UK. He worked at UK. I am adjunct faculty. He was adjunct faculty. He did video editing. I tried that for a while and decided I didn't like it anymore. But we were joking about this made-up holiday called Pi Day, which we didn't know. The internet was spinning up, but like it wasn't ubiquitous yet. We didn't all kind of get on the same page with the same ideas. So we didn't think to associate it with 3.14, but we did try to convince his little sister, who was quite naive, that the pie fairy was going to come. And that the pie fairy would leave a pie on the front porch. And so...
Good thing it's not under your pillow.
Yeah, we had to work out the logistics of that pretty quickly, so it could have ended up that way. But for years, and I tried to pull it up on my phone, but I'm not going to bother. It doesn't matter when Pi Day is. It doesn't exist. It's not real. But we had her going. I even showed up to their house with a pie, and then that sold it. Like the sister's like, oh yeah, this has got to be a real thing. And apparently for several years after that, because it was so well received, they'd get a pie on Pie Day, and they would celebrate it anyway. So
that's
another rabbit trail there. You talked about the sun being closest. So in dealing with this seasonal affective disorder, I'm trying to come up with some strategies, right? Because my brain is low on serotonin, and I'm wanting to just navigate this space in sort of a healthy way. So one, I'm talking about it, right? We work together. You're aware that's a thing. I've talked to my wife about it as well. I don't want it to ever be like an all-consuming thing. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna do some stuff, some self-care.
You got the light coming, right?
I do, yeah. So preceding the light, I went over to a tanning place.
Oh.
And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna sit in a tanning bed, and I don't know if that's gonna help. In fact, what I've read suggests it may not help, but if it tricks my brain with a little cognitive dissonance, and I think I'm gonna like it, then I'm gonna do it anyway. And they have you ever been to a tanning place before?
No.
This was my first experience as well. I think I laid in a tanning bed in a gym one time just to try it out. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't like it. But I went over to Suntan City, and they had a deal. So normally one visit's like $19, but right now you can get 5 visits for $19 just to try out all the different things. And they've got spray tans, and they've got quick beds, and they've got slow beds, and I don't know. I still don't know all of it.
Happy endings, all of it. Yeah.
Well, that was the goal, right? To be happy. That's what you meant?
Yeah, all right.
And nothing else. So they size me up. This little guy sizes me up, and he has me fill out this little questionnaire. And it's basically like, how pasty of an Irishman are you? And I'm like, the pastiest. I'm the pastiest Irishman you'll ever have. So they land on, okay, we've got a 10-minute bed. You should probably only sit in it for 5 minutes. So I did. And I think this was Sunday. It is now Thursday.
This is recent.
This is very recent. Yeah. You didn't see my glow?
I got nothing, man.
Well, 5 minutes, right? All 5 minutes did was burn under my man boobs and my butt cheeks. So
the stuff
all
where
the stuff that never sees sunshine has seen sun for the first time, and it didn't like it. And I don't know if it helped with the seasonal affective, but it definitely hurt with the being comfortable in bed. So not a good strategy. So then you mentioned the light.
Yeah.
So we've got a coworker, Bethany Paris, and I was complaining to her about the whole sad thing, and she said, I've got a light. I've got one of these sad lights. And I think she had it in a drawer. She was going to throw it away. Or it was just occupying space in her house. So she brought it, and I'm going to try it out. I've had the light on consistently for the last few hours, and I guess I feel okay. I don't know. It's hard. It's not like taking Tylenol for a headache. You're not. It's hard to qualify or quantify the effects of these countermeasures when it comes to these sorts of things. But
no stickers on the light, or anyway.
There is, and we're gonna have to throw a picture of this thing up there because I can't remember what it says, but it's hilarious.
So maybe I'll be the judge. We'll see if in a couple weeks if you're all cheery and chipper, and I guess you'll be out of the office next week. So maybe yeah, I can't. maybe take the light home.
Well, I'm hoping to get a little bit of sun exposure, but that would be best.
So another piece to my, I think, happiness as a kid with Christmas, and is my tie to your motherland. So my mom is from Canada, and her dad lives in Sault Ste. Marie, and lived in Sault Ste. Marie, and we would go up there often for Christmas. It's like an 8-hour drive from Grafton, where I grew up near Milwaukee, and he was the same way. He always had sweets and get us toys. And one year we went to a store that was going out of business, and everything was 90% off. And this is around Christmas time, and basically parents are like, it away, that's where we learned a little math trick on how to like, okay, it's $20, and then you make this is cheap. So we went through and bought a bunch of junk. Canadian toys. They aren't real toys. They're like
Metric
toys. Anyway, so we called him Papa for whatever reason, which is strange for a come to find out that a lot of people thought that was odd that we called our grandfather Papa, but everyone seems to kind of make up
I had
their
a
own.
gram and a gramps and a mama and a papa. So yeah.
So Papa would send us a huge box on the years that we didn't see them around Christmas, and it always had these tie plates. Did you ever have tie plates as a kid?
Tie plates?
Yeah, they're like they're
Thinking
made
of like a plate with food on it.
No, this is like it's like a cookie.
Oh, like practicing like tying shoes? Is that what you mean?
This is something you eat.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
idea. Okay.
I've seen these little, they look like a cookie and they've got like shoelaces on them and kids can use it to practice knots.
Wow. No, yeah.
So that's what that invokes. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, and who knows? Maybe this is a Sault Ste. Marie thing. But I thought it was. Also, growing up, I thought Canada was full of Italians.
It is, yeah. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I am almost full-blood Italian.
So my grandfather lives in this very kind of small community. He lived in Sault Ste. Marie.
No Italian, by the way.
and he was like Joe Bumbacco number 7 because there were so many Bumbacos in the area, then so many Joes that they had to number them
in the phone book.
Like they all go to the Buffalo Lodge or whatever it is, to play the bingo. No, but like in his crew, because he was a real social guy, and like he knew a ton of other Joe Bumbacos, so they literally had to number them. And growing up, I was like, Canada, they're Italians, right? Like every time we go up there, it's the Bumbacos. And so when I found out like the French speaking Canada's a thing, I was like, it's not
the same thing. This doesn't look like that thing I saw as a kid.
Anyway, so we get this huge box of toys and sweets, and I remember, and my brother and sister probably, I don't know if they listen to this, but they'll remember too. We got these dog bone treats that was basically like a hard donut with icing.
I remember those, yeah.
And it looked like a dog bone. And then the tie plates, they must be made in like a waffle press. They're very thin, and they have like a pattern on them, and they taste like black licorice and.
That's
cracker.
why nobody knows what they are.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
We loved them. I mean, they were very. Again, it was a Christmas time thing. You're eating these things that any other time of the year would probably taste horrible, but it tasted like Christmas.
Tasted like Christmas. You mentioned the whole Canada thing, and my brain's lacing together the previous conversation. This would be a quick hit if it weren't part of the overall motif of the conversation, but I have every winter heard the exact same commentary, and I bet you could probably pick it out. Imagine me miserable in the cold with a coat, shivering.
Oh, yeah.
What's the thing everybody's going to say to me?
Yeah. Oh, it's your weather, right? Just you're built for this, Canadian.
Aren't you used to this?
Yeah.
Like, how can I get used to something that I didn't grow up in?
Yeah.
I moved to America when I was 6. I'm 41.
Yeah.
So that's what, 33 years? No, that's bad math. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Just keep it
Close enough.
What is that? 50 years? I don't know. Numbers. But like a long time.
Yeah.
And I am far more Kentucky than I am Canada at this point. I never had a chance to develop whatever natural immunity one might have to the air hurts my face.
And talk to any Canadian. They all go to Florida for December.
Count all the Ontario plates on I-75. Yeah. That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, nobody likes the cold, probably especially Canadians.
Yeah. That is true too. I got that a lot in Kentucky when I said I'm from Wisconsin. They're like, you should be used to this. And I was like, well, I mean, I've felt cold before. It doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah. How does one get used to suffering?
Yeah.
Now I do want to kind of take things full circle because there is an ending. I don't know if it's an ending, but there's
this thing's never going to end.
Was it a rabbit trail?
No, the podcast.
Oh, well, we don't have to. It's our podcast. We go as long as we want.
Yeah, no, good.
But I am changing my Grinchy ways. And
since we started?
No, just like the trajectory of things. If you had caught me in life at at age 30, pre-kids, I would have been very, very deep in the trenches on this one. It would have been a much fresher trauma probably. Yeah. But also, I didn't have kids. Yeah. And this is where I think maybe the Grinch's heart grows just a little bit. Because one, while I may not love it, I love watching them love it. And so I'm able to be generous because, we're not hard up as a family. I'm putting up lights. I'm putting up the tree. I'm decorating. I'm trying not to be a big grumpy butt. And I'm hoping that next generation, they're like you. Yeah. They look back and they're like, this is a good time. We had eggnog together as a family. Dad put lights up on the house.
Oh, they're going to be atheists then. Okay. Careful when you wish.
Hold on. Where is it?
No, but you're breaking the spell.
Breaking the spell. Yeah. Or being the last link in the chain that's broken, and just saying, you know what, it's going to be different for my kids. Barring some traumatic event that's out of my control, I want them to have what you have. I want it to be special.
Well, and another data point is I never really worked retail. No, I never worked retail. That probably helped.
And I think we've talked about this, about everybody should have to work in food service.
Yeah.
I think in America, everybody should have to work retail and everybody should have to work food service at least long enough that you can see how horrible people can potentially be. Yeah. So if you still choose to be horrible, then you're just a bad person.
Yeah. Maybe a good message to end on, and would be, as you're out there shopping. Now, the shopping world is different nowadays because of Amazon and internet and all that, and they really have changed. Kind of the doorbuster thing doesn't really happen anymore. They don't open stores at midnight on Thanksgiving. That kind of stuff is.
I think that went away with COVID. Yeah. Good riddance.
Yeah, no, that's good. But just generally speaking, when you're out there, you're getting coffee, you're shopping. We actually went out Black Friday, and Kristen had kind of a theme of the day, and it was patience. You know what I mean? Everybody is crazy. Some people are spending money that they shouldn't be. Some people are taking shots.
I was gonna say, take a shot.
So you don't know everyone's story. You don't know. I mean, that person, could have worked, all morning, and then they got off, and now they're just trying to shop. And
you don't know what people are going through, and especially be sensitive to the folks that are in service industry this time of year, because the hours are bad. Yeah, money's probably tight for them. They're going to experience the same sort of pressures we do to gift, but gifting for them costs more than gifting for somebody in a higher income bracket, so it's going to add some stress to them as well. And I think it's just a good practice anyway to treat people well. Take a step back and stop looking at them as a cog in the machine and start treating them as the individual human being that they are.
And I dare say I would actually I would oppose my typical view on tipping, which we haven't done our tipping podcast yet, but that'll be an interesting one because that culture's changed so much. But I would say, if you can, these folks could use that extra gratuity.
Dig a little deeper this time of year.
I would look at it more of a, I don't know, given from the heart and not, tipping for
service,
Starbucks, or whatever. But
all right. Well, that's a good one to end it on.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holiday. I don't know how you say it anymore.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Thanks for listening to the Soapbox, Eric. How can people find us?
Well, conveniently, we put everything on our Linktree site. You can go to Linktree, search SoapBox Lex, and you'll find all of our socials there, plus ways to reach us, ways to engage, and some of our original content, so you can see some of the other stuff that we do.